terms of their overall capacity or the reserves that they hold right now, since you are really going ahead and making a case to buy them out?
And actually, all the 3 mines I talked about in Australia, in Brazil, and in Senegal, they have huge reserves. Each one of them have reserves for more than 2 billion metric ton. That is the reserve situation. So we feel even if we develop the mine in partnership with others, and we develop a road stake the 100%, we will actually be in possession of a substantial mineral reserves in those countries.
Right, Mr. Som, we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much for joining us and giving us a quick perspective on the business of NMDC and how things may shape up in the future. 3% down, 351. Interestingly, a lot of the steel companies also subscribe to this issue, the big names.
Yeah, whatever, since you put the FPO price at a certain price, the price will fall, but I think the market's not really factored in the kind of reach and access NMDC has. So we may see once the stock opens up, perhaps not right after the FPO, but at some point, perhaps we can throw the question to Radhika.
Yeah.
NMDC, I mean, if we can just get beyond this yak of whether the FPO is happening or what price, do you think this is something that you can, sit with for a couple of years?
Beyond the valuation story.
Yes, beyond the valuation story. I mean, just to comment quickly on the FPO, I think, from a valuations perspective, it was severely overvalued. This thing, if it had gone around 250, we would have seen a much better response. We wouldn't have seen LIC coming to pick it up. Beyond that, the story in the commodities segment is good. So in the long term, it's not a bad idea.
Well, Radhika, I just wanted to ask you, see, the difference with LIC is that the investment team at LIC doesn't depend on huge bonuses, which is
Yes.
if they buy for 6 years, they can sit with it.
Yes.
But the other guys are getting millions of dollars in bonuses. They wouldn't get a bonus if they buy a stock like that.
Absolutely.
So do you think beyond that, this is a good story to hold for 24 to 36 months once this whole, thing settles out?
I don't think it's a bad story to hold. It's not the best story to hold, but it's not a bad story to hold. I think I'm bullish on the whole metals and mining sort of space as a whole, and NMDC is in a good space. The FPO in particular was just...
So actually bring up the 6-month chart or perhaps a 3-month chart on NMDC, because it was quoting well above 400 before the FPO price band was announced. So
Right.
definitely the market had more thoughts about
I
the
think there's a
pricing.
pretty clear arbitrage. There was a pretty clear arbitrage in the FNO. I think my FNO friends would have,
I was going to suggest to Mr. Som that maybe you should have just created an SPV on the side and floated that one, because it would have given a good price discount.
Exactly.
Some thoughts out there. Let's take a very short break right now. When we come back, in fact, take a moment to thank all our 3 guests. They've been with us for a very long time. Radhika, appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
Devang and Evan, stay with us.
Stay on as we get more market voices in.
Sure.